as keyed in to the events of the world as Cardinal Dolan is, he actually didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. Now, this is very important. In order to get the gist of this episode, you're going to have to know that Charlie Kirk was not well known by many people in the Catholic Church, at least the higher-ups. On a ground level, many people...
You remove the mask, but I cannot tell me that you are cursed.
People, parishioners, knew of Charlie Kirk. In fact, Charlie Kirk is the reason what brought them back to the Catholic Church. Interesting. And we are probably going to have that discussion about whether or not Charlie Kirk would have become Catholic. Let me know in the comments. It's interesting that Cardinal Dolan was not familiar with Charlie Kirk, and only when he died did he do a deep dive down the rabbit hole without any bias or people telling him that he was evil or he was great. Cardinal Dolan didn't know much about him. Did his own research, which is key. He didn't know about him, and he did his own research. He's starting to get where I'm going here. Didn't know him, wasn't biased, did his own research. And he kind of concludes that Charlie Kirk could have been considered, before Catholicism was an actually named, understood church. At one point it was just Christian, believer of the new way. You know, even in the Holy Land now, the difference between Catholicism, Greek Orthodox, the Coptics, Protestants, they have a much better relationship with each other. Yeah, there's some friction, that's more cultural, but it's not necessarily always theological. They are just lumped together as Christians. So, prior to the establishment or the understanding of the Catholic Church as we know it today, at one point they were all Christians. So Charlie Kirk was compared to, by Cardinal Dolan, a modern-day St. Paul, a preacher to the Gentiles, a preacher to all nations. And as St. Paul confronted many people who didn't like him, which is the reason why St. Paul was brutally treated, terribly mistreated, abused, imprisoned. There were death threats against him, and he eventually died getting beheaded. Beheaded. Real interesting comparison that Cardinal Dolan is just saying. And I might even agree with that assessment, because I am not biased by what people are telling me about him, and I do my own research. Sadly, however, there has been some online debate, and as a result, there have been people who are speaking out against Charlie Kirk, including, sadly, a group of nuns. And this is what these nuns have to say. Sisters of Charity of New York respond to Cardinal Dolan's remarks on Charlie Kirk.